So I watched the conference of the new Samsung phone, earbuds, and stuff like that. Actually, the most curious, well, my English is crap. The one that caught my attention the most was the AirBud Pro because I don't know, because the phone is too much, it's too expensive, and I cannot buy it. So I was like, but the AirBud, earbuds, they're not so crazy. Like still, $199 is a lot, but it's not that crazy. But where is the best place to learn about the new features of the new Samsung Galaxy S21 if not to watch the video of our friend Max Brownlee? So let's watch the video together and let's learn about the power and experience of the new Samsung. This introduction is crap. Wow.
Hey, what's up? MKBHD here, and welcome to your first look and hands-on with the Galaxy S21 Ultra. So right off the top of the year, Samsung's coming out swinging. Now, I also have a video about the S21 and S21 Plus dropping at the same time here, so that'll be the first link below the like button. Check it out if you're interested. But this
Color choice is like I really like the black one, and the gray one is okay too. The other one, I don't like the color difference between where the camera is and yeah. But you don't care about my opinion, right? So
is the big dog. So we kind of know what to expect
my
at this point
personal
from
taste.
Samsung's new ultra high-end phones, right? So S21 Ultra will start at $1,200, so it should be the best of what they can offer. But just to look back for a second at S20 Ultra, this phone last year was kind of a whiff. I mean, it still did have a lot of the high-end Ultra numbers that you look for, but because of the focus issues with the camera, it was just never something you quite recommended. It got passed on a lot for the money. So the S21 Ultra looks to get them back to the best of everything world with a lot of next-gen parts and pieces. Now,
The
right off the
camera
bat,
in the
first thing you
conference
notice
looked really
is the biggest
nice.
change, which is they've packed everything in this new design, so we might as well just start with that. So I got to handle these in the matte black and this sort of silver color, and so it looks just like
Yeah,
the leaks in the
exactly. What did I say? The best color are black and gray. Yes, exactly. So my opinion counts a bit. I have a good taste, maybe. Or maybe I just like boring colors. If you look at my wardrobe, it's full of black and gray stuff. So yeah, I'm boring actually.
rumors we were expecting, and I think I like it. Now, I don't know if I love it. I'm still on the train that sort of a horizontal camera
Yeah,
bump. Like
that one
Nexus
looks
6P
really good.
was actually kind of peak. But the more I look at this contour cut design, the more futuristic it looks to me. It kind of looks like someone was making a thicker phone with the huge cameras and then just melted it down to a thinner body for the rest of the phone. It's kind of hard to explain. It looks like Harvey Dent, like Two-Face. But on the smaller models, it actually has a cool color contrast model with the side rails.
Hard.
But I talk more about that in that video.
What
On the
the
Ultra,
fuck is
it's
that?
all matte across the entire back, which I love, and then shiny on the sides. So, speaking of those cameras, we've got 4 here on the back of the Ultra. It's a new second-gen 108 megapixel main camera with OIS at f1.8. Very curious to see how that'll shoot. Then you've got a 12 megapixel ultra wide, which should be pretty sweet at 120 degrees. And then 2 telephoto cameras. You've got 2, a 3x telephoto and a 10x periscope lens. So this is an interesting zoom situation. I was playing with the phone, trying to imagine why they would do it like this. I think Samsung's probably done the math on, well, most people either zoom in a little bit or like all the way. And so I guess if they're just getting a 3x and then the 10x will facilitate the space zoom that goes really far, my curiosity is how will it do in between 3x and 10x? We'll have to see. But if you go in the camera app, it looks very familiar. It's the Samsung stuff. All these zoom buttons are still here. But now you can see you can go all the way from that 3x to 10x, and it's doing digital zoom in between those 2 numbers. Then from 10x on, it's coming from
If
the
the
periscope
picture
lens,
look good
and
like
space zoom
they
is still here, so
presented
you go
in
all the way
the
to 100
conference.
on the Ultra. And it's right off the bat actually looking much more stable than the last gen, which is actually pretty nice. And there's also some improvements to the higher end modes like a director's view for more control over live switching between the cameras and recording from multiple cameras at once. And there's also multi-device recording from both the phone's mics and your headphone mics at the same
Oh
time.
my god, it's
and
so
improved
crazy.
single take mode. So cool stuff here. But we all know the Ultra in Samsung's lineup is supposed to have the top of the line cameras, and this is the best they can offer. And you can even see the laser autofocus here. So I'm almost surprised they didn't toss in a macro camera to sort of fill up the space and make an even grid. But hey, it's the periscope lens taking up that space instead, begging to be tested. So yeah, lots of new camera parts. It'll be interesting to see how these perform. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to be among the first to see the review when it comes out. We can test these things. But enough about the back of the phone. Let's talk about the front. So it's a big phone, of course. It's the Ultra, and that allows for a huge 6.8-inch Quad HD OLED display. And this time, it's Quad HD at 120 Hertz. So you can see here in the settings, it's at the 1440p resolution, and motion smoothness is also set to adaptive up to 120 Hertz. So that's sweet.
Oh,
But also, this new
4K
adaptive
120.
refresh rate on the Ultra is new, and it'll automatically constantly be switching all the way up and down between 10
Among
Hertz
Us.
and 120 Hertz. So that should help
Please.
save a lot of battery in this adaptive mode. It'll be really interesting to test to see how responsive it is and to see how much battery
TikTok.
it saves.
Oh
So you
my
imagine
God.
when you're not really doing anything on the display, nothing's moving, it throttles all the way down to 10 Hertz. I'm curious if that can bring it to the same battery life or close to the regular 60 Hertz mode. I'm not too worried about overall battery life. The phone does still have a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, so I'm not concerned about being bad. I'm just more curious if it can be amazing. I also love that the display is nearly flat. It is slightly rounded at the very edges, but not nearly as much as I've seen it in other phones, which makes me happy. And there is the small cutout at the top for the ridiculous 40 megapixel selfie camera. And they also dropped Qualcomm's new, much larger and hopefully faster in-display fingerprint sensor back there. It's 1.77 times larger than the last gen, and I'm hoping less finicky too.
Oh,
And the display's
I
max
remember
brightness is now
when
up to 25% brighter, up to 1500
in-display
nits,
fingerprint
and there's a new
sensor
AI-based
was
blue light
like
shield
something
option for better
crazy
viewing
new.
comfort
Now
if
it's
you're into that.
normal.
But yeah, everything else you're looking at
I
here
still have got a
is
Samsung
right in line with what you expect
S7 Edge,
from the
so
2021 Samsung flagship. Great build quality. It's
my phone is
IP68
old.
water resistant. The newest internals, of course, with the 5nm Snapdragon 888 in this region. It'll be the 5nm Exynos chip in other regions, which will be interesting again to test to see how it fares with battery. 15-watt wireless charging. There's reverse wireless charging too. Great buttons, tiny bezels, the whole thing. One interesting spec though that is missing, there is no expandable storage anymore. So the micro SD card is basically going extinct now. Samsung was some of the last ones to do it in their flagships. So there are only 3 specs for total storage on this phone, 128, 256, or 512 gigs. And then so unlike the smaller S21 and S21 Plus,
That's
there's
shit,
different
because
amounts
if you
of
can
RAM on
take
these versions. So those all will
8K
have 8 gigs of
pictures.
RAM. On the Ultra, you start at 12 gigs of RAM for the 128 and 256.
Yeah,
And if you go with
yeah.
the tip top half a
I think
terabyte
like
max
12
spec,
gigabyte,
that'll have
no,
16 gigs of
8K
RAM.
pictures are
So
really
you're
expensive
trading
on memory, right?
expandable storage
So this is
for
really
a lot
bad.
of RAM, I guess. Also, speaking of things that are gone, no headphones or charger in the box confirmed. Like I've warned you, this is gonna start happening very quickly across the industry. iPhone 12 was a huge domino to fall, so now don't expect a power brick in a flagship phone from here on out. But last thing, let's talk about the S Pen. It was added to the S21 Ultra S Pen support. Now, okay, a lot of people saw this in the rumors leading up to this and thought, oh, that probably means the Galaxy Note is on its way out. Maybe they'll kill it soon. I don't think so. This is just coming from my hour of playing with the phone. The stylus on the S21 Ultra feels like a very optional add-on accessory, where on the Galaxy Note, well, it's still an integral part of the Note experience, and it's just, they're in very different worlds. So first of all, like I said, it's an optional $40 accessory, so if you want to buy an S Pen for your S21 Ultra, it'll cost you. And then it's actually compatible with other S Pens of the past, so if you have one already, you can carry that too. But the whole experience
that cover is
is
cool.
passive, so the whole low latency writing and drawing experience is all the same, but there's no Bluetooth or gesture controls like you would have on the Note. And then of course, there's the whole how do you carry it question, since there's no silo built into the phone. So that's another optional accessory. So you can get a stylus and a case for now $70 extra. And the phone sort of just clicks into this rubber slot in the side of the case, which is fine, I guess, but it's definitely a very optional accessory. And so if you're gonna go through all of that and spend extra money to have a stylus on your high-end Samsung phone, I feel like the obvious choice is to buy a Note where it slots in perfectly and neatly every time, charges, has the active experience, has more features. And of course, there will be a Note 21 Ultra. I guess it's not an of course thing. I'm predicting there will be a Note 21 Ultra that people wanting a stylus should consider later this year. So I don't think the Note's going anywhere. But
How
that's
much
basically
more
it for
expensive
the
is
new
the Note
S21 Ultra.
20?
What do you think? Is this enough of a redemption? I mean, you get the huge numbers again. You get a lot of next-gen pieces. It seems to be going in the right direction. There is, of course, the S21 and S21 Plus launching alongside it on January 29th. But if you're going to spend the big bucks, this is what you're going to get. And they've also launched smart tags and Galaxy Buds Pro. So Samsung's clearly popping off right at the beginning of the year. But let me know what you think. Is this the one you guys would pick? Or would you go for one of the other?
If I had the money, I would buy the ultra black like this, matte black. Like it looks really good. But looking at my bank account, I don't want to spend $1,000 or pound or whatever for a phone. My phone works just fine, even if it's shit, like it's crap. Like it's got well, look, just one camera. What is this? This phone has got 5 or whatever, and I've this has got even like a how do you call it? Burned something burned in the screen. I don't know how you call it, but it still works for what I do. It doesn't really matter. So I don't have the money to throw away. But if you have the money to throw away, what phone would you buy? Which choice of colors and option would you buy? Let me know in the comment section. This was a reaction to a video of someone who has got skills, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.